We'll start with the only book in this episode. This one is from Tony Nader and it's called One Unbounded Ocean of Consciousness. Simple answers to the big questions in life. And it's a pretty long book, but it's well worth reading according to me, or listening. The core premise is the following three statements. Number one, consciousness exists. Number two, consciousness is all there is. And number three, consciousness is conscious. From this postulated axiom and framework, author Tony Nader gives a comprehensive walkthrough explaining how matter, thoughts, and feelings arrive, citing the latest research, metaphysics, and neuroscience. So in a very short summary, there are different levels of reality from what we perceive as a unified field. So from everything we perceive to the unified field where everything belongs. All levels are present simultaneously as expressions of the same singularity, which is a consciousness. Moreover, you can experience higher levels of consciousness. Via regular transcendental meditation practice, you're more likely to ascend from the daily experience of waking, sleeping, and dreaming to higher levels, higher states, up to unity consciousness. Nader states as well that the higher state, the more you ascend, the happier, integrated, and impactful you will become. What I found fascinating with this book was the elegant paradigm shift of explaining matter from consciousness, while the modern discourse tries to explain consciousness from matter. So it's kind of like the flipping of the switch, flip the script from consciousness to matter instead. The book also resonates with my philosophy at this website, which advocates for effortless living and productivity. Lastly, I have practiced transcendental meditation regularly for almost 14 years and can attest to the promises. Once you experience more awareness, there is no going back. So I highly recommend you check out this book, and link will be in the description, show note as always. And then I have 4 videos to share with you. The first one is called Optimize Your Workspace with Huberman Lab podcast. And long-time readers and listeners know I am a huge fan of Andrew Huberman. In this episode, he presents the latest peer-reviewed research on designing your environment for optimal output. And I will make a follow-up video on that point, but for now, it's important to turn on the lights, look up, and move your body from time to time. The second video is an interview with Mugavdat, which is a former chief business officer for Google X and a serial entrepreneur. He has experienced tremendous fortune and also a painful loss of his child. In this episode, he sheds light on happiness and being happy from a scientific perspective and own experience. The third is an interview with Sam Harris by Lex Friedman. Sam Harris is a popular podcaster, neuroscientist, author, and meditation advocator. And in this episode, they discuss various topics related to conscious experience, from free will to intelligence. Lastly, not only are there one video, which you can see if you're watching on YouTube, I actually recommend 4 videos. If you're both experienced and interested in a long discussion about morals or how religion can or cannot function in modern society, I highly recommend these talks. On 4 different occasions, which by the way are live tapes of full stadiums with many cheering crowds, Sam Harris discusses with Jordan Peterson the possibility to go beyond religion to anchor morals in a solid foundation. And Dr. Peterson, if you don't know, is a clinical psychologist, professor emeritus, best-selling author, and thought leader, well known for his compelling views about creating the best life with maximum meaning. In these talks, Sam Harris advocates for the possibility of creating morals from first principles based on rationality, and thus be able to banish religion altogether. Although both of them agree a lot, Jordan Peterson is more skeptical, arguing that religious elements stem from our intuitive, irrational, and unconscious parts of ourselves and need to be considered. The interpretation of facts plays a large role here. And you can check out all 4 of the talks, which I highly recommend. They are very enlightening and very illuminating when it comes to the 2000-year discussion on how to basically live a meaningful life, in the show notes and in the description.